Air travel has become such a normal part of life that most people rarely think about what actually happens behind the scenes. You board the plane, find your seat, buckle your belt, and wait for takeoff. But beneath the familiar routine lies an entire world of little-known details, hidden systems, and insider secrets that can make a huge difference in your comfort, safety, and overall travel experience. Whether you're a frequent flyer or planning your next vacation, understanding these flight secrets can help you travel smarter and avoid unnecessary stress. Many of the most seasoned travelers have learned these lessons through years of flying, but you can benefit from them now, before you even step into the airport. One of the first secrets that experienced travelers know is that early morning flights are almost always the best option. While waking up at 4 a.m. is never fun, flights that depart around sunrise experience far fewer delays because the aircraft hasn't yet encountered the chain of scheduling issues that tend to snowball throughout the day. Weather is often calmer in the early morning too, which means flights are smoother and turbulence is lighter. If you're someone who gets anxious during bumpy flights, booking a morning departure can significantly improve your experience. Early flights also tend to be cleaner because the cabin crew has more time during the overnight hours to conduct a deeper cleaning. Later in the day, quick turnarounds mean the cabin usually gets only a superficial wipe down between flights. Choosing the right seat is another secret that can transform your entire flight. People usually pick based on legroom or view preference, but the seat you choose influences noise levels, temperature, and how much turbulence you'll feel. The front of the plane is noticeably quieter because the engines are behind you. Over the wings offers the smoothest ride because that's where the aircraft's center of gravity sits, which means you'll feel fewer sudden drops and bumps. Window seats might look appealing, but they can get surprisingly cold. Outside temperatures at cruising altitude can drop to around -60 degrees Celsius, and only a thin layer of metal separates you from that icy air. If you're someone who gets cold easily, pack a sweater or choose an aisle seat instead. One of the most surprising secrets concerns the water on airplanes. Flight attendants often warn their friends and family never to drink water from the aircraft's tap. This means avoiding coffee, tea, or any beverage that uses onboard water. The water tanks and pipes inside aircraft are not cleaned as frequently or as thoroughly as you might expect, and multiple inspections over the years have found bacteria and contaminants that would shock most passengers. If you really want a hot drink, only accept it if the airline uses bottled water, something some airlines offer on request. It's safer to stick with sealed drinks or bring your own water bottle to fill inside the terminal before boarding. Most passengers assume that flight attendants start earning money as soon as they step onto the plane, but the reality is very different. On most major airlines, flight attendants are only paid from the moment the aircraft doors close and the plane begins to move. All the time spent helping passengers board, assisting with luggage, settling disputes over seats, and greeting everyone with a smile is unpaid labor. This is why you might notice flight attendants becoming more urgent when it's time to close the door. They aren't being rude, they're simply eager to begin the part of their shift when they're actually compensated. You might also be surprised to learn that Boeing and Airbus aircraft are designed with secret crew rest areas that passengers rarely see. On long-haul flights, pilots and flight attendants must rest by regulation, and airlines hide compact sleeping quarters above the cabin or behind locked doors. These spaces often include small bunks, dim lighting, and curtains that create privacy. They are not luxurious, but they are essential, and they allow the crew to stay alert and capable throughout the long journey. Most passengers never realize that just above their seats, the crew might be sleeping. Another secret is that turbulence, while uncomfortable, is rarely dangerous. Turbulence feels frightening because it triggers a sense of losing control, but modern airplanes are built to withstand forces far stronger than anything turbulence can produce. Pilots train extensively in simulators to handle rough air, and aircraft wings are tested by bending them almost to the point of snapping. The real danger during turbulence comes from loose objects or unbuckled passengers. This is why the seatbelt sign matters so much and why the crew insists that passengers stay buckled even when the ride seems smooth. Turbulence can happen without warning, especially over mountains or when flying through jet streams. Another lesser-known secret of air travel is how often pilots actually use autopilot. Many people imagine pilots manually steering the plane for the entire flight, but the truth is that once the aircraft reaches cruising altitude, the autopilot system handles a large portion of the work. Pilots input coordinates, monitor systems, communicate with air traffic control, and remain ready to take manual control if necessary, but they're not physically steering the jet for hours at a time. Autopilot improves efficiency, fuel usage, and stability. Even during landings, many modern aircraft can perform a fully automated descent and touchdown during low visibility conditions. This doesn't make pilots any less essential. Their training, judgment, and quick decision-making skills are irreplaceable, but it does show how advanced aviation technology has become. Here's another secret that frequent travelers know well. The tray tables, seat pockets, and seat belts are often some of the dirtiest surfaces on the plane. Quick cleaning between flights means these areas rarely get disinfected properly. Even worse, many passengers use seat pockets as trash cans, stuffing used tissues, food wrappers, and sometimes even dirty diapers into them. Bringing sanitizing wipes is one of the simplest ways to protect yourself, especially during cold and flu season. A quick wipe of the tray table, armrests, and seatbelt buckle can drastically reduce exposure to germs. If you're someone who hates the dry, uncomfortable feeling of airplane air, there's a reason for it. The cabin humidity on most flights is extremely low, often around 10 to 20%, because the air outside the plane is extremely cold and dry. This low humidity can cause dry skin, irritated eyes, and dehydration. It also affects your sense of taste and smell, which is why airline food often tastes bland unless it's heavily seasoned. Drinking water frequently, avoiding alcohol, and using moisturizing creams can help minimize discomfort during long flights. Speaking of comfort, here's a secret many passengers never consider. Not all turbulence is created equal, and pilots often know it's coming long before you feel it. Airlines receive detailed weather data and reports from other pilots along the route, which helps them anticipate rough areas and adjust the flight path. Sometimes turbulence is unavoidable, but pilots do their best to minimize it, even if it means flying hundreds of miles out of the way. Smooth flights are better for everyone, including the crew. Another thing passengers rarely know is that airlines deliberately dim the cabin lights during takeoff and landing for safety reasons. In the event of an emergency evacuation, your eyes need to be adjusted to the outside lighting conditions. If the cabin was brightly lit and the plane suddenly needed to be evacuated in darkness, passengers would struggle to see clearly. Dimming the lights ensures everyone's eyes adapt to the lighting outside, giving passengers extra seconds that could save lives. Many travelers believe that the cabin air is stale or recycled endlessly, but modern aircraft actually have highly efficient air filtration systems. The air inside the cabin is refreshed every few minutes, using HEPA filters that remove dust, allergens, and most bacteria. In fact, airplane air is often cleaner than what you breathe in office buildings. The dry air may feel uncomfortable, but it isn't as dirty as many people assume. Finally, one of the most useful secrets for travelers is the value of being polite to the flight crew. Crew members deal with long hours, unpaid boarding time, and a wide range of passenger behavior. A simple smile, greeting, or thank you can go a long way. Flight attendants have the power to offer free upgrades, move you to a better seat, provide extra snacks, or help you in ways most passengers never realize. Being kind doesn't just make the flight nicer, it can genuinely change your travel experience. Understanding these flight secrets can completely transform the way you experience air travel. What seems like a routine journey is supported by a complex system of planning, safety measures, technology, and hardworking crew members. With a bit of knowledge, you can avoid common mistakes, choose the best seats, stay healthier, and make your next flight far more enjoyable. Air travel will always come with small stresses, from long security lines to cramped seats. But armed with these insights, you'll step onto your next plane more confident, more informed, and ready for a smoother journey ahead.